Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. We are grateful that in the studio we're going to meet the new director of the Dubois County Museum. Also, we'll talk with the board director. Joining us in the studio is Kathy Bachman. Kathy is a director for the Dubois County Museum, and we're going to meet the new director. But I'm going to say your name yet. I'm going to ask Kathy a question first. Why did the board decide that you wanted to have a first-time director?
Well, this is our 21st year at the museum, and we finally feel like it's time to have someone in place that is going to coordinate all our different identities into one and answer to people that call the museum. So we hired Shirley.
All right, if you would, now I'll let you introduce Shirley.
I'd like to introduce Shirley Ray. She comes to us from Vincennes, and she has been instrumental in the Red Skeleton Museum at Vincennes.
Okay, Shirley Ray, the new director of the Dubois County Museum. You started a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
maybe about
January
a month ago.
2nd officially.
Okay, well, all right, so you've been there for a while.
That date.
Well, Shirley, tell us about yourself. Who are you? What have you done in the past?
As she said, I am from Vincennes, Indiana, so I grew up in a very historic community, and I've always been very interested in history. When I went to college, I chose to do museum studies, literally. So that gave me the opportunity to really see how museums work and how they function, and it got me access to artifacts, which is my true kind of passion in life, is the artifacts of everyday life. And then I started working in museums after I graduated graduate school in Ohio and Pennsylvania, New York, and then I came back to Vincennes, my hometown, to help open the Red Skeleton Museum. Of American comedy. Better add that in there.
So now they're lacking because
they
you came
are.
to.
They're
yes,
absolutely.
That's right. Okay, you said something. You said something interesting. I'm going to kind of divert a little bit here.
Sure.
You mentioned artifact. To me, an artifact is something really old. Okay, something you dig out of the ground that's been there for thousands of years. Right. Is that the case, or can an artifact be?
Well, no, it's a material culture. So evidence of material culture. It can be something artifactual from the Paleo-Indian age. It can be a spoon you used yesterday. It just depends on the process of how did it come into the museum's collections and what does it say about the people who used it, made it, created it, designed it, that kind of thing. So.
What interested you the most about the Dubois County Museum, and when you came here, what did you go, yeah, this is awesome?
It was the collections, the exhibits. The first time I walked in, it was just overwhelming. The amount of things they have, the size, the scope of the things they have, everything from a polar bear to a threshing machine. You can't really find that anywhere else, I would hazard, in the world, if I had to guess. So just incredible, just overwhelming, thousands and thousands of items. And every single possible genre, every field of imagination is covered on exhibit, not just stored in their collections facility. So it was remarkable.
Well, really, as Kathy will attest to, I think the Dubois County Museum is it's a treasure for Dubois County. And what a great location right there on 231. And it'll kind of fool you. Yeah.
Yes.
It'll fool you because you see the front doors and you think, okay, well, this looks like a little small museum. No, it's that whole building.
Exactly.
50,000 square feet.
Wow. 50,000
of exhibits, and we
yes.
have more room in our building than far. We do have some storage space. We do have some space that we rent out, and that we have a little income during the month. And we have 44,000 pieces in our collection. We have grown from 41,000 last year. So we're growing.
How do you get collections? How do things come to you?
A lot of times people just come in. Somebody came in the door today, and they'll say, we have this. We found this from our father's collection. We found this in our grandmother's home. And they will ask if we want it. And but a large collection came to us just recently from Chase Studios. And so we have 7 file cabinets of negatives from Chase Studios.
Wow. Okay. Well, now, Shirley, what are some ideas that you have for the Dubois County Museum? What are some projects that you're hoping to do?
So we're looking at enhancing the exhibits for one. So adding audio and visual components. We'd like to put in maybe like sound booths where you can hear individuals talking about their experiences throughout their lives in different areas of the museum. So, how did threshing machines work? What did you have to do to make them function? How hard was the labor? That kind of stuff. Similar to what the World War I Museum does in Kansas City is what it's based on. So I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of different places, and there's ideas that I've kind of gathered from all of those places of what seemed very effective in exhibit formats. Also programs. We're going to add additional programs to our current schedule. So we're looking at doing events that would bring new audiences in and people who potentially want to join as members and kind of help enhance what we already have in place, get more volunteers and things like that.
Oh, talk about our maybe once a month night at the museum.
Oh yes,
yeah.
that is
Okay.
the most exciting. So we are open, in some people's estimation, some limited hours. We close at 2 o'clock most days. So we're looking at opening in the evening. So at least once a month, we're going to have evening hours where we'll be open for an extended period of time. 5:30 to 7 is kind of the time frame we're looking at. So every month there'll be an open house in the evening. It's a free event, free admission night, and we'll have some sort of program, refreshments, that kind of thing, in order to encourage community members to come in who haven't had the opportunity.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yes.
Although I will tell you, an hour and a half is not near enough time
Yes, I know.
to make it.
Might be
It's a
till
teaser.
8.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
teaser, but
Well,
yeah.
that's right. You'll have to come back
Depending on
another
the event,
time.
yeah. So 7, 8 o'clock,
Now, this is a county museum. And a lot of times county museums are very small or maybe not even existent. So
Right.
having been around, how does the Dubois County Museum compare with other county museums?
The most amazing thing is that we collect items from all over the county, but we also exhibit them, and we have engagement from community members all over the county in the facility itself. So not only are exhibits generated by the different townships and communities, but we also have our murals, which all of those townships were involved in, and the board members reflect each of the areas of our county. So they actively have been for years, 2 decades practically, engaging community members from throughout. And then this year we've launched our satellite exhibits, which actually take place throughout the county, starting at libraries. So we started at Ferdinand, there'll be an exhibit at the Jasper Library. We're going to Birdseye for our next exhibit, and then we're reaching out to other community areas for satellite exhibits. So we take artifacts out to those facilities so that those members in those communities can see what's available here and get a taste of what we're preserving for them.
Well, and one thing I cannot ask either one of you, or even myself, is what's your favorite exhibit? Because, as you mentioned, you got polar bear all the way to a threshing machine.
Yes.
You got the train room. You got the little town kind of set up there. You've got the
Village, yeah.
murals, all the farm equipment. There is the whole log cabin, 2-story log cabin in the building.
Yes, exactly. And vehicles.
Oh yeah, and
You know,
vehicles.
I mean, the whole safari room is full of, literal animals, polar bears, grizzly bears. It's all under one roof. So it's almost like your favorite that day as you're walking through.
That's right.
It
I like the
changes every
sports.
day.
Oh, that's right. There's the sports exhibit.
The heritage immigration section. And we have paleontology. We have
St.
pretty
Ferdinand
much
Sisters of St.
Yeah.
Benedict.
all those
Yeah.
displays. There's a hospital display, about the medical treatments and things like that, and the Jarvis Heart display. There's just
You can't stop.
can't-
I mean,
you
because
can't-
there's just so much.
it's so hard to describe it because it's just so broad.
Well, I
and
think one thing we
comprehensive.
maybe do is when are you open, and then where is it located? Where do you park to get to the Dubois County Museum?
All right, we're
Want
gonna
me
let
to take
Kathy
that?
All
handle
right,
that
Kathy,
one.
you handle that. one.
Okay. We are open Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 2 p.m. On Saturdays from 10 to 4 p.m. Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. We have a special parking area in the back of our lot that is for parking. And what was the other question?
Well, kind of where it's located. It's on
Oh, located.
231. I mean,
It's
I know
on-
where it's at, but does everybody else?
2704 North Newton on 231. Right, so.
Yeah, it's
we
really
are
on the north side of Jasper.
Right.
Yeah, easy to get to.
Yeah.
It's a great museum. And what's the admission?
$5 for adults, $3 for high school students, $2 for elementary and middle school. And if they're under 4, they are free.
And
Or-
members are free.
Yeah, I was going to say, or better yet, buy a membership.
Exactly.
Okay,
And come all the
that's
time.
available. Okay. Well, we're going to have you back again because there's a lot to talk about at the Dubois County Museum. So stay tuned to 18 WJTS. We'll be doing like a monthly show, maybe even doing a weekly show from the Dubois County Museum. So hope that you find something out, a little bit about history in Dubois County.
Yeah.
Shirley, welcome to town.
Thank you.
Glad to have you as the new director of the Dubois County Museum. And Kathy, thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure talking with you about the Dubois County Museum. We are WJTS TV. We're local people watching local people.